I have been going to concerts since I was 4 or 5. Went to NSYNC.
The first concert I ever went to, I think I was 5. I went to see Aaron Carter.
Since then, going to concerts on the regular.
I kind of went to concerts like here and there, and then I started going to concerts like all the time.
The best parts about concerts are that it's so much better than just listening to it on a CD.
Not only does it sound different because it's not like polished in the studio, but it's just kind of an experience.
You have the crowd, and the crowd interacts with the artist. The artist interacts with the crowd.
I think this is the first time I've ever played this song and there's been like people doing stunts at the same time.
You can like feel the sound from the speakers, you can see them in front of you.
And they put like the emotion behind the song and kind of get to have fun with it.
The rawness of the sound, I guess, just it makes it so much better.
I mean, you see the authenticity in it, but at the same time you don't on a CD. I always really like noticing what live versions sound like versus recorded versions. I always prefer them, but
it's just different, but to me it always sounds better.
I would say that both All Time Low, I've seen them a few times, and One Direction are both those bands that kind of make it is like a show. They make it an experience that's worth the money. They're just bands that don't, when you see them live, it's not really special. Like, when I went to go see One Direction for the first time, like, seeing them in the flesh was one thing, but then, like, seeing them, like, be completely ridiculous for 2 hours was pretty sweet.
My favorite band to see live is probably All-Star Weekend. Every time I saw them, it was just kind of fun, and it was always something different. Every time we'd see them, they'd always be like, "Oh, good to see you again, how are you?" And they just always kind of made me feel welcome. The only downside to going to concerts would have to be dealing with the people there.
It's so hard to be in a general admission crowd with people because
if there's people around me that are like bigger, I can't see.
People with signs need to like not be standing right in front of you when you're trying to watch the band.
Like, if there's a person who's 9 feet tall in the front row, they really don't care.
There's also the classic 30 to 40-year-old mom sitting in the crowd. It just doesn't make any sense to me. All you're gonna do is complain when I push you.
With the pushing, sometimes it just gets a little out of control. So a couple of summers ago at Warped Tour, I was in the crowd for one of my favorite bands at the time, Breathe Carolina. Suddenly, a crowd surfer gets dropped right on my head, and I just completely fell to the ground. I didn't even know what was happening. You know, it's all part of the experience, but dealing with that is probably the only bad part.
I think that a concert is just being able to see the people that, like, I'm obsessed with. And, like, to be able to see them instead of watching videos on YouTube. It's always been so cool to put a face on what I'm listening to.
What I like the most about concerts is being with people that feel the same way as you do about music.
Just to see a bunch of people who also are really into that music and just being part of that experience is always really meaningful.
I want to say it's like an escape from reality, kind of.
I'm not really interested in a lot of things. I'm really interested in going to concerts.
I feel like I'm in another world. I can just think about what I'm most passionate about and experience what I love.